Hello?
Hello.
Hi there, how you doing?
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you now.
Perfect, awesome. How are things this morning?
Good, awesome. I'm following you along with donuts and Coke, so at least I'm being unhealthy when you are with your nuts and specific dried fruits.
Nuts and dried fruit, and it's kind of a sorry sight, to be perfectly honest.
No, it's better than here, so it's.
So, as we're gonna get back in. We're gonna add Jennifer to the call in a wee second, but I was wondering if you could maybe introduce yourself to the audience that are listening in.
Sure. Hi, I'm Jonah. I'm a researcher. Currently, sort of like trying to submit my dissertation, my PhD dissertation. I'm specifically working on medieval history and medieval queer identities and all that kind of stuff. I'm also an educator. I create these wee zines about marginalized bodies in Middle Ages. So whether it's about queer bodies or disabled bodies or bodies of color, and other zines about being an ally and all that kind of stuff. And I unfortunately didn't have stuff. I'm quite young. I'm 28, and I didn't grow up under Section 28 because I grew up in Transylvania, which is in Romania. But, it would have been an absolutely amazing gift for somebody like me to have, the kind of work that TIE does in schools. I grew up in a very conservative, religious country, and my education was tinted with that, definitely. So, even the sex ed that we had, I know TIE doesn't do sex ed, but, even the sex ed that we had was very much not only sort of like heterosexual oriented, but also very, very reproduction oriented. There was no talk about pleasure. There was no talk about relationships and consent and all that kind of stuff. And also, obviously, as a historian, looking back, I see how whitewashed the history, whitewashed and, sort of like straightwashed the history that I was taught in school was. So, I'm sort of like trying to repair that kind of damage done to me as an individual and to, I guess, the curriculum by actually mining out genderqueer and trans identities from the Middle Ages.
Brilliant. Thanks very much. And I think we've got a wee bit of echo. Hopefully not at my end. But I'm going to try and add Jennifer to the call now. And
Wonderful.
Really see if that works. I hope it does.
Godspeed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Let's see. So let's add to call. Fingers crossed. Just calling just now. I'll have Jennifer introduce herself, and then we can get on to Chan.
Sounds good.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay, hold on.
Hi, Jennifer. How you doing?
She's on the road, so.
Yeah, she's heading to an island, isn't she? Is this Sky?
For privacy reasons.
Right, okay. Yeah, no, that's fine.
I cannot confirm or
deny. Okay.
Deny.
That's fair.
But yeah, she's having a wee bit of downtime.
Hi.
Hi, you there?
I was talking and I didn't have my microphone off.
Oh, okay.
If you want to stalk me, that's where I'll be.
Brilliant. Jennifer, Jonah's already introduced themselves, and I was wondering if you could do the same to the audience, if that's cool.
Okay, cool. Introduce myself on a Sunday morning. Okay, I'm a half an academic, half a journalist, so I'm interested in media literacy and misinformation, but I sometimes dabble in journalism. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Cool. So, I mean, really to sort of start off the conversation, I dare say I'm really interested what medieval queer history really involves. As a subject, it's something that I wouldn't even know where to start. So it'd be great if you could talk us through a sort of general overview of what it is.
It's actually a lot of people ask me, oh, surely there's not a lot of, sort of primary sources that you can look at. And it is absolutely amazing how many primary sources, as in texts and images and stuff, you can find if you look beyond what the censors in the 19th century, erased from specific manuscripts, from specific, translations and adaptations and stuff. People in my field are working on even canonical texts like Chaucer's work and Beowulf and all that kind of stuff, and interrogating it from a queer perspective. You can see homosocial relationships that would have raised eyebrows not only nowadays but also then. My work specifically is looking at queer identities in the medieval church and how the church itself was not as conservative as it is today, and it was actually accepting and actually promoting or being very laudatory towards people who transgressed gender and sexual norms. Yes, it's not it's not a universal thing. People who had men who had sex with men then faced punishment and all that kind of stuff. But there were certain relationships that were definitely accepted and lauded. For example, the brotherly love and sisterly love between people in monasteries was really, really seen as a virtuous thing. Also, I can talk your ear off about lesbian sex in letters of nuns between each other and also towards Christ, and how Christ is not cis male and all that kind of stuff. So
that's interesting. I mean, I can imagine that maybe some historians of old would have probably looked at those letters and went, "They're just good pals." Really good friends.
Exactly.
And Jennifer, from a journalist perspective, obviously you're an ally, and I was wondering how, we're both allies here and we're both supporting TIE. From a journalist point of view, how do you ensure that you're like platforming people who normally wouldn't actually get that much of a voice?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I guess when I started doing workshops and training back in about 2013, when I was working with groups that might not actually get any representation in the media, I realised that you've got both a kind of a responsibility, but also got to almost shield them from particular aspects of social media. And I think what we're seeing at the moment is maybe back in 2013-14, it was nobody really paid attention to little community media workshops because they were like, oh, let's do something in this community group, or let's do this thing with a charity or whatever. And now we're starting to see like this actual attack and assault of people that are, you know, by all means marginalised by social norms. So then what happens is, what's your role as somebody that has a platform to then like not only promote voices but also make sure that you aren't like leading somebody into a space where they're going to have to deal with like the fallout of that. And I think it's always I don't know, I mean, I've worked with groups of recovery and I've got people from like sort of different estates to try and do campaigns, and like increasingly because social media and the way that that's getting more prominent compared to say more mainstream journalism, it means that you've got a lot more at stake when you do make a stake in that. So I think it's always kind of checking in on what you're doing and making sure that is that thing you're going to do actually going to benefit a person, as opposed to just wheel them out to be looked at, or you know, be the kind of spokesperson for something. You know, it's a difficult one, but I think we need to have more conversations about that because we do have a responsibility about that.
Yeah. I mean, it was interesting. We were speaking to Fiona Robertson late last night, and obviously Fiona's come under quite a lot of heat on Twitter, and the dynamic on Twitter is, and you know, Fiona was saying that she's very much aware of this, but you've got one person, one individual who's like really, really, you know, going for it. They're happy to create multiple Twitter accounts. They're happy to spend time doing the graphics to look like it's, you know, four organisations, not 4 individuals, but you know, I dare say you've seen the Women Make Glasgow Twitter account, and you know, it's that sort of, you know, and I think you know, some media have ran with it because they're seeing what looks like an organisation online, but it's really one individual running multiple accounts.
Yeah, I think we're getting to a stage where like influencers are becoming better at professionalising what they're doing. But however, what that is looking like is that it's a professional organisation, but they're skipping corners when it comes to, you know, registering as a charity, who funds them, you know, and I think journalists should be going, who funds these organisations that are getting legitimised in Scottish Parliament, instead of, you know, literally legitimising a couple of Twitter accounts. And that's what worries me. And I think partly some of that's to do with the fact that Scottish journalism is at a shaky time at the moment, where there's lots of cuts to newsrooms and there's just not time to do that sort of stuff. And it's actually a lot easier just to pick shit off Twitter and go, well, there you go, there's an organisation, there's your for and against. But, you know, LGBT youth TIE campaign, you can go to a company's house, you can see the records of that charity, you can go to Oscar, you can see where that charity came from. We don't know who For Women is. So it's, and I think that we should be spending more time going, if you're going to get legitimised in Scottish Parliament, then you need to be held accountable in the same way other organisations are. You can't just get a free pass because you've got a social media account.
Yeah, absolutely. No,
I mean, the easy solution to that is, you know, hire queer fact checkers. We're really good at sort of, you know, finding out people who are not allied and stuff, because we're tuned into their dog whistles, because we have to constantly defend ourselves from those dog whistles. So, you know, I was just chatting to some friends on Twitter, and Women Make Glasgow actually sort of like inserted themselves in our chat. This person is from London, this friend of mine, and I had to basically defend my friend from someone in Glasgow, you know, like from someone in my hometown, because it's just, my friend from London has no idea that Women Make Glasgow is based on, you know, People Make Glasgow. They have no idea that it's a transphobic account. They have no idea that it's just one person behind, you know, behind the screen and all that kind of stuff. So,
what I'd be saying as well is, I mean, where's the Glasgow marketing agency in this, where they're using their branding? You know, stuff like that we should be doing. I think when you're then putting the labour on where people to have to fact check, and you can be going, hold on a minute. Like if I just wandered in and just started using very famous branding to promote an ideology which isn't like, you know, fit within, you know, the Equal Rights Act, then it should be like, you know, punished for that. Instead, what's happening is, you know, we've got elected members using these accounts to legitimise the debate and quote air quotes. And I just feel like we're getting to a stage where if the news is coming from what people read on Twitter, then that's really, really dangerous.
Yeah, I totally agree on that front, and I think, you know, when it comes, there is a certain onus on media, as in the media, not social media, to really stop trying to, like, you know, it's the false balance thing. We went all through this in another conversation, but it was like the best comparison's like flat Earth. That just because someone says there's a flat Earth doesn't mean that you need to put up a platform and have, you know, some random guy on Twitter go up against, you know, a scientist or, you know, whatever.
Yeah,
you don't need to platform idiocy.
Well, that's what with this. I mean, these sort of debates, again, in quotes, is what happens with the people that are literally experts in this stuff, right? Being told that you're an expert, and it's the same with journalists. We don't want to hear what you have to say. However, we will listen to this person that's got 100 videos on YouTube because they've made 100 videos on YouTube, and that's that sort of is it Dunning-Kruger effect, which is the less you know about a thing, the more confident you are, compared to imposter syndrome, where you actually go, wait a minute, before I write that thing, do I have the facts?
Yeah.
So it's easy to become an influencer that's based on just talking shite on the internet. Much harder to maintain, you know, be an expert and actually go away and read stuff, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know, one of the things that could possibly change this sort of angle, like provide that cultural change, and we've talked about how entertainment industry at the moment is sort of going through a change when it's you know, there's more diverse casting, there's more diverse characters. Now I'm not saying it's perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but one thing that sort of based off that question, and maybe Jonah can answer this, but there's something to be said about not just having representation in like sort of entertainment that's, you know, digested through Netflix and stuff, but also having the history to back it up.
Oh, 100%. I mean, there's massive debates on academic Twitter that, you know, we're not doing enough to reach audiences and all that kind of stuff. My colleagues definitely do a lot, you know, definitely go to speak on BBC Radio and have absolutely amazing, you know, documentaries, and they go out into the community and, you know, do these kind of like public engagement things. But I feel like that kind of stuff still sometimes, that's why I'm a queer guerrilla educator. You know, it's you don't come to people and say, I'm going to educate you. You come as a person, and then, you know, they're going to listen to you. I mean, Ben introduced me to this this concept of lanyards, and how, you know, sort of if you want to engage with people, you have to come as a member of the community in the first place, but as a person first and an organization later. That's why I sort of, you know, do these kind of, say, zines and have conversations with people just to make a difference in one person. Yes, it would be absolutely amazing to make a bigger difference, but I feel like it just takes one person. It's absolutely amazing that TIE has their resources up on their website, and you can actually pick them up in categories books in Glasgow and everything. But, you know, it is definitely, it starts with people. It starts with having a conversation with people and saying, "Oh, did you know that actually like we have actual evidence of so many people in the past that were, gay or lesbians or trans people or,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely. Can I just say, we've just been raided, which means that there's a whole group of people who are currently watching this. I have no idea of the number of viewers right now, but I think we're
Is
well
Limmy
over
on?
the 300 or something.
Is Limmy on again?
You what? Sorry?
It's a good thing.
Is Limmy on?
Lemmy's not on at the moment, I don't think.
Probably
but we've had
Jen then.
someone called Actual Jake who's raiding us. We've got 335 viewers, which is not too bad.
Wow.
Right, so question comes, what is TIE? TIE is Times for Inclusive Education, and an organization that is trying to advocate for queer inclusive education in schools, in primary and secondary. They are creating resources for teachers to teach about queer identities as well as queer history. That is TIE. I hope I made them proud.
Yeah, I mean, just to reiterate that, so the TIE campaign's basically it's Time for Inclusive Education, as Jonah's just said. It is a group that have created the framework for delivering LGBT inclusive education across the Scottish national curriculum. Now, don't get me wrong, we say Scottish national curriculum, we believe it has the ability to go so much further. All of the material that TIE produce is free on their website, and the reason why we're fundraising today is because we want to keep it that way. They need donations to keep up the work that they do, and we believe that this could really deliver quite a systematic cultural change across Scotland, because homophobia and transphobia and biphobia all stems from ignorance and a lack of education, and if people aren't exposed to different groups of people, then they're gonna be able to they end up using these sort of homophobic slurs and transphobic slurs more liberally than if they actually were taught that there's certain language that's okay and certain language that's absolutely not on. And we've been raising money for that. We've got a link to the TIE campaign that can be posted. We've got fundraising available, so if you want to donate via the Streamlabs link down the bottom, and any subs or cheers, all of it will be going to the TIE campaign. There's absolutely nothing for me. I would like to clarify that if anyone who follows my blog, I will be going on holiday in September, but I would like to say that that's already been paid off. So don't worry, I'm not doing a runner. I'm very much giving everything raised over this 24-hour stream to TIE. So thanks very much to those who have recently joined us, and we hope you enjoy the chat that we're having with Dr. Jennifer Jones and Jonah Conan. Sorry, that was just my wee bit. You can see I've been doing this for 24 hours almost.
Yeah, you're okay.
But so anyway, back to our conversation. We've been talking about having the history to support, it's not I don't want to say it's like a fad or a new thing, and that different types of relationships have existed for centuries, hundreds of centuries. So I mean, it would be interesting to see what TIE could help deliver. Of course, inclusive education means that it'll have to be embedded into the curriculum of a maths teacher teaching and a science teacher teaching, but definitely from a history point of view, I think you're spot on, Jonah. I was wondering if there's anything else that you would like to see be added into the sort of the TIE. I want to say the TIE program.
I mean, it's exactly how your speaker last night, I think Justin with Jay, who was a teacher and
James,
taught about
James.
Yes, James. You were saying all of this could very easily be integrated in the curriculum as it is. When talking about Turing, or when talking about the Holocaust and that kind of stuff, you don't have to have a one day in which we do queer history now. We're done with queer history now. It's the same kind of thing with all kinds of history, with disability history and with non-white history. All of this needs to be
Excellent. I do apologise for that.
Don't worry, it's fine. I'm just giving you a heads up that I'll probably lose signal in 10 minutes because I'm going past Lord Lomond, and then that's it, really.
That's okay. I mean, really, I wanted to just get to our final question, which was, obviously TIE's got a lot of work that it can still do in Scotland. But what is the potential for TIE going sort of beyond Scotland's borders and taking it worldwide? Do you see this being something that could be applicable everywhere?
I think that by setting a good example, I mean, I've seen some blog posts by some kind of Americans saying, wow, I think when TIE was launched, or when it passed through Parliament, I think there was some blog posts about how, look at what Scotland's doing, this is amazing. And that makes me proud of being Scottish, because we're actually leading the way in that. I mean, it's for every context is going to be different. So, but by being able to do it where we live, hopefully people are inspired to kind of take that on board, and they should be doing it.
I mean, and definitely, both me and Jen, we believe in hyper-local communities, and sort of communities doing it for themselves rather than other people coming from a different continent or from a different country and getting what they need and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like TIE is a good example, but I also feel like you can have local chapters homegrown rather than sort of TIE going into Canada or US or even the continent.
Absolutely, 100% on that. It would very much be, TIE could act as almost a educator, train the trainer, but it would be homegrown, organic, ready to take it into their own communities.
Yeah, I mean, they could even make. Sorry, Jen.
Go.
Okay. They can even sort of, create packages for these communities that would want to start off from grassroots. They can easily make a pack, the kind of packs that they have for education, but in educating the educator, as you said.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of storytelling. So, instances where this has actually helped somebody. Jordan Daly's story is really powerful. I saw when he was talking on the documentary about devolution. The fact that the experience he had at school versus what he's doing now. But if you have stories, they're kind of universal. So you're not coming in and going, well, this is how Scotland did it. How's Canada do it? But if you hear stories from people that have actually benefited from receiving this education, I think that as the organisation matures and more young people are getting access to it and grow up and talk about it, I think that's also really powerful.
Brilliant. No, thank you very much to you both for coming on and saying your piece. Sorry about the technical glitch.
Don't worry.
It's inevitable.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I think we were around 16 hours of non-stop internet connection and streaming and all sorts. So, part of the fun.
I mean, I'm impressed with 16 hours. That's great, and I'm impressed that I've managed to join this in a car. So it's brilliant. Yeah.
It's been a good test, and I now know I can 3-way call from different locations. So thanks very much for that. And please enjoy your weekend. Enjoy where you're off to for a wee break, Jennifer. And,
I will.
Jonah, enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm not sure what you're up to, but
thank you very much. Have a good day.
No worries.
You too. Take care.
See you
Bye.
later. Bye.
Bye.